Welcome to Shrouded Realities. Today we're digging a little more into the deep state. I think last week, if you listened to last week, we said we was going to break away from the deep state a little bit. That was a fabrication.
Yeah, we lied.
Yeah, we did. We planned on hitting something a little more fun, but our boy Connor, he was busy, so he said we're going to save the fun stuff for Connor.
Yeah, we need the fun stuff for Connor. Let our mental health continue to deteriorate.
Yeah, this one didn't get me too bad. This
wasn't too bad.
This one made me feel better about my own life.
It did. It's like, you know what? There's hope for me.
There is.
If somebody like Hunter Biden can end up in the positions that he's been in, maybe one day I'll get pardoned. Who knows?
Maybe. And boy, this dude has lived a life.
He's lived 3 or 4 lives. He's lived enough lives. He's like a cat.
And it all got exposed to the world.
Man, yeah. Well,
through the infamous the Hunter Biden laptop.
It's his own doing. All of it is. It's him just being really not smart. And impulsive. Human being that's like flying by the seat of his pants and smoking all kinds of different drugs.
Yeah. To his own admission, like, we're not making any of this stuff up.
I mean, I feel bad for the dude a little bit.
Yeah,
he's really lived a really rough life, I would say.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he knows a way out of it. I think he's tried a bunch of times to figure out a way to just be a decent person, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, so let's go into a little bit of his back history, just set the groundwork. His dad, Joe Biden, of course, his dad was married to another lady, not Jill Biden. Everybody knows Jill Biden, but Nelia Biden?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Nelia Biden? Anyway, married to her for about 8 years, and she tragically died in a car accident.
The same year that Joe Biden was actually sworn in as a senator, if I remember correct, in 1972.
He wasn't sworn in yet. He had just won the election.
Okay.
Yeah, he had just won the election. So, man, that would be rough as a husband. But
that would be.
Yeah, so his whole family gets in a car crash, kills his wife, one of his daughters, and his 2 boys survived, but they were in the hospital.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Bo and Hunter. Rough way to start out a life.
I think Hunter would have been 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was old enough to remember at that point, you know, and something that traumatic is definitely going to stick with you.
Yeah.
Joe Biden didn't start out with so much truth in this situation, which was kind of weird.
Talking about his plagiarism?
Well, his wife and one of his children had just died.
Yeah.
And his first things that were said were, this guy was known as a drunk.
Oh, the guy that got in the wreck.
The guy that got in the wreck. So he blamed this man for being a drunk. And he may have been in his personal life. I don't know. But this day that he had this wreck, he had 0 alcohol in his system. So he automatically goes to blaming this man for all of that.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a setup for just how Joe Biden has lived his life through public office, I would say.
It's pretty much his whole career.
He just comes across as the most insecure guy I've ever been around.
Yeah.
You know, you've been around the I'll beat you up kind of guys. You know, he was the guy that's like, I'd like to take him back behind the gym and wear him out.
What was that? I'll smack him in the... I'm not going to finish it.
That is great.
He's talking about
man, I'd like Trump. To just smack him in the...
Smack him in the butt. In the A word, yeah.
But he's just that kind of guy. I mean, he was multiple plagiarisms of other people's speeches. And, I mean, even in recent history, he's talking about Trump and how he'd like to take him behind the gym and beat him up. Or corn pop. You remember corn pop? Did you never heard the corn pop story? Well, everybody, I will link this in the video. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Presidential gold.
Yes, it was great. Corn pop, he was a bad dude. He used to carry around like this chain and he'd beat people with it, but Joe Biden stood up to him. Like, it's a whole just fabricated piece of crap. Yeah, it was crap. It sounds like something from, what was that movie with the gangs in it? But it was a musical.
West Side Story.
Yeah, it was a West Side Story type situation. Like, everybody had greased back hair and wore white T-shirts and rolled up blue jeans.
Yeah. So old Hunter he got a bad inheritance to start with. Just living. Yeah, it's pretty much his whole life as a son of a politician. pretty high-ranking politician through his whole career. I mean, we know he's right now, as we speak, current president, highest level you can get, but he was congressman forever. Like,
he's the current president through interesting ways. There was some interesting things that happened that made him president of the United States.
2020.
2020.
Mm-hmm. We'll dig into that. I do want to dig into that.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting some clarity and some time has been passed to where it's not such a conspiracy.
I would say that a deep state operative would want no one more than Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. He's deep state all day. He's the deepest of the states.
He embodies everything that a deep state agent would want.
Oh, yeah.
He's a puppet.
Yep.
He can't really talk.
No.
So he can't even say things that are
right now anyway. He used to be pretty high level. Even when he was president, I think he was pretty.
That's not what they're saying today.
Really?
No. Oh, he's always had a speech impediment. That's why he's talking. He's always had a stutter.
I got you.
I've been living in some of this this week, just watching a lot of his speeches and stuff. This dude did not have that.
No, he spoke really well.
He had gaffes. I mean, everybody said things. We're going to have them probably in this episode where he's like, oh, we said that wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this guy was a very prominent speaker, I would say.
Which is why
I think he was plagiarizing half of everybody's speeches.
Which is why I think he held those positions for as long as he did.
Sure.
He was good at what he did.
Well, that and he, might be a little corrupt and
hey, you don't
had votes in his pocket.
You don't have to be clean to be a politician. Obviously, you just got to be able to speak well, say the thing you need to say at the time and space of where it is. And,
absolutely. And he was good at that.
He was. But yeah, so Hunter just. So he's in the news right now because just a couple of weeks ago he was pardoned from his father, who multiple times on multiple interviews, even when he was lucid,
not gonna do it.
He was not gonna pardon his son. He's gonna let the justice system do what the justice system does because he believes in it so much.
Believes in it.
But of course, that turned out to be a total fabrication.
This is not a one and only situation for Joe Biden with that kind of comment and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think
if anybody believes that he was not going to pardon his son, I'll sell you some land, some beachfront property right here where I'm at. Right here.
Okay.
I'll sell it to you at my house. I've got some.
So I mean, in his defense, like if it was my boy and I had the chance, be like, nah.
If I had the opportunity to, but at the same time, you probably wouldn't be out there flaunting that you're going to be the one that's going to not do it.
Yeah,
come on.
I did see some clips where the left wing media was like just praising him, just bowing down. Oh, look at how good of a person he is, and if him not pardoning his son just doesn't speak to his character, I don't know what will. There's just a bunch of Joe Biden's the best.
What a saint.
Yeah,
that dude walks around with like those paintings. He's got one of those halos above. Yeah, he's got that glowing thing down.
Yeah,
looks like he just had an epiphany.
Yeah,
he's that kind of person.
According to the media.
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to back up on that and be like, I was wrong. Dang it.
You think the media is going to back up and say they were wrong about anything?
No, sorry. No. Oops. Made a mistake there.
They're not going to do that. They will hope that you don't remember this conversation and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people will. A ton of people will.
We've got a goldfish brain as a people now, and that's a problem. So,
we kind of mentioned this in prep. So, on the list of presidential pardons, let me pull that back up.
It's a pretty large list.
Very, very big list.
And let me back up and say, the president has every right to pardon anybody that he deems should.
Yep.
He has this right, this power as a president.
Yeah.
So.
And even the first line. Okay, so on whitehouse.gov, there is a statement from the president on their page. It was released on December 1st. Easy to find. The very first sentence says, "Today, I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted."
Wow.
And then the next paragraph, I'm pardoning my son.
Well, this was completely unjust what they were doing. So he had to take a stand
Yeah.
and do it himself because the Department
'Cause
of
it's-
Justice was doing wrong.
Yeah. No, not the Department of Justice, but the his political opponents.
Who's in power right now?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That makes it a little
How
awkward.
do you wrap your brain around that even a little bit?
Yeah, it's verbal jiu-jitsu at its finest.
It's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
there will be people that believe what that just said and go, you know what?
Oh, you're right.
Donald Trump did this.
You're right. They're going
Donald
after him for committing crimes against humanity and
Yeah.
taking money and
Yeah.
getting money he shouldn't have gotten
Let me
and
tell you who-
laundering money through the
Let me tell you
Ukrainian
who
government.
they should be investigating. They should be investigating Donald Trump
Uh-huh.
because he is the worst human. He said bad words once.
He's crooked.
He is. He's as crooked as a question mark.
Crooked is a question mark. But yeah, I mean, just this is deep state. This is the manipulation of people, of the politicians, of the media.
Yeah.
That makes this whole thing just dirty and crooked. And
The deep state wants us to be separated. And guess what? This is a guy that has power.
Yep.
That can do things that you and I can't do.
Mm-mm.
If I was out smoking drugs
Mm-hmm.
and taking naked pictures of myself.
We'll get into that.
Well, I'm just
We'll
saying. I'm just giving some context here.
We'll get
If
into that.
me, as the dude standing in front of you right now,
Mm-hmm.
was to do any of these things, one of them, I would be put in jail for an extended period of time.
For sure.
But it's because my dad is not some powerful person that can make a phone call and say, no, well, all right. Hunter Biden has not spent one day, not 1 day, not 1 hour in jail for any of these things that he's done.
Yeah. And it's not even the drugs and the gun. And there's a bunch of, we're going to get into the tabloid stuff. It's just too fun not to.
I mean, how could you not?
We'll save that.
It's all there.
We'll save that for the second half because it's gross.
None of this has been denied either, by the way.
I know, none of it, and you got video evidence of all of it.
Yeah.
So on his own behalf, good
don't
job.
look it up. Don't look up the evidence,
and don't watch even on YouTube stuff about Hunter Biden with your kids in the room.
No, we just had one pulled up just a minute ago. We were like, okay, well, let's try to make sure we're absorbing all of this. And I was like, my gosh,
super graphic.
I
They
mean,
blur
even,
it, but you
even
can see
with a
what's
blur,
going on.
it's too much.
Yeah, I was watching a video prepping for the show, and my daughter walked in the room, and it was like,
Turn it off. Don't worry about it.
I'm not watching anything, babe. Yeah,
it's just Hunter Biden. It's a president's son. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. Don't look.
Don't. How bad is that?
It is.
Is that the leader of the free world?
Yep.
You're watching something about his son,
Yeah.
and then your daughter walks in, and you have to go, stop.
And it's blurred out. It's not even like It's not even like actor portrayals. This is videos and pictures of him doing
things he shouldn't have been.
Very gross things.
You know what?
On
Maybe
camera.
If he's married to the people, whatever.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Just don't put it in
don't film
on the internet.
Don't film it at all. He didn't put it on the internet. We'll dig into that in a
Yes,
second.
he did.
Did he? Oh, that's right.
Yes,
he
he
did
did.
upload some of the stuff to
a specific site.
Yeah, where you can.
Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it.
Yeah.
To a specific site where things like that exist.
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the deep state thing. I think the deep state is really good at releasing things. We've kind of touched on this a little bit in some previous episodes. They'll say, "Hey, look at this.
Look over here.
We're so sorry. This sucks. Bye bye bye." But it's hiding some more of the dirtier, darker stuff that sustains the deep
This
state.
stuff that we're not going to find out about for 20, 30, 40 years.
No.
You know, that's released in a Freedom of Information Act.
Yep. So everybody's talking, all the media is talking about Hunter Biden being pardoned. That's the thing. Hunter's being pardoned. They don't talk about, and they might briefly, but not really, the list of other people that he's pardoned and commuted. 39 other pardons and 1,499 commuted sentences.
I want to say it's the largest mass pardon that's ever happened in U.S. history.
So you're going to tell me that he personally knows the story of each one of these people?
No, he doesn't.
No. So again, whitehouse.gov, they've got the list. December 12th, 2 days ago from the day of this recording, they released the list. It's got every person on there, and it's very strategic on how they put the people and their stories.
Yeah. Tell us about the first one.
The first
one on the list. This one kills me.
Tells her story. Nina Allen, a 49-year-old woman who was convicted of nonviolent offenses in her 20s. In the years since, Miss Allen returned to school to earn a baccalaureate.
Bachelorette? Bachelor's degree.
Something like that. Degree and 2 master's degrees. I'm guessing she did that from prison.
Sure.
She now works in field of education. Miss Allen strengthens her community by volunteering at local kitchen shops and nursing homes. Miss Allen is described by people who know her as dependable, hardworking woman of integrity.
We should have actually looked into what her crimes were.
Yeah, because they just talk about how awesome she is.
Yeah, I would like to know because that story right there, it sounds great.
Yeah, and I'm sure she's got a story.
Let's back up. I don't know anything about this lady.
Yeah,
maybe there is something that was bad,
and she probably might be one of the only ones that really deserved a commuted sentence.
And I will agree that those things are great. The things that she's doing now, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I applaud her for that.
Yep,
but.
There's a reason why they put her at the top of the list. There's a reason why
that is the first one that's going to pop up on this list.
Okay, so you scroll on through, and it lists every single person.
Yeah.
There's a little story for each person. The stories for the 39 pardons. Okay, so it gives a story for each of the 39 pardons, and then my fingers are getting tired from scrolling.
Yeah.
Then you get to the bottom, and it's 1,499 more individuals. All it does is list their case number and their name. But there's 1,500 people here. A whole list of people that...
I want a story for each individual one of them.
Yeah, because
if you're just going to pardon these people, I'd like to know why you're doing it.
Yeah, but I guarantee there's some people in here that's like part of the state, part of the deep state, part of their inner circle that did some bad things.
Absolutely.
That they should be punished for, and because they're friends with him, bloop, they just get a pass.
There's people coming into office that have sworn that they're going to take care of the swamp, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So this voids out any investigation.
Yeah.
If these people are pardoned, there's no point in going and investigating them because they've got a pardon, so you can't do anything.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So, I don't know any of these people's story. I don't know any of the stuff that's going on with any of these people. It is odd to me that you just end up with like, let's pardon them before anything can be brought out about it.
Yeah.
So you're tucking it in.
Just tucking it in.
Just tucking it in.
Look at this list. Look at Hunter.
Yeah. Look at Hunter over here.
Look at Hunter.
We pardoned him.
This stinks, but I mean, he really didn't do anything that bad.
Look over here.
He didn't do anything. Yeah. His political opponent's going after him.
Well, let's also look at what all's happened this week as we're talking. This is a little bit, it's going to be old news to everybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on around the world look over here.
Yeah.
And a lot of it digs into some previous episodes. CIA. Hey, we were just talking about them overthrowing a bunch of countries and installing their own people.
Yep.
Guess what just happened this week?
Really?
Yeah, Syria.
Oh, yeah.
Overthrew in Syria. Look over here. Look over here. And then we got a list of 1,500 people that just got pardoned.
Yeah.
That Kash Patel, the new FBI director, can't do anything with.
Too late.
Yep.
Yeah, I scrolled through the list of commuted sentences. So to sound smart, I'm going to act like I knew this the whole time. Not that I looked it up 30 minutes ago because I didn't know the difference.
Right.
I didn't know the difference between pardon and commuted sentences. So pardon is just a complete total wipe away of your crime.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like if you rob a bank, then the president comes in and says, "No, you didn't rob the bank. You're free."
Yeah.
Commuted sentence is admitting that you did this thing, but you're not going to serve the time that you were given. So if you're sentenced for 25 years, let's say you're commuted to serve 5, you can go.
Do we think that was that what this is the spirit behind what that law is?
No,
about pardoning someone? I think the spirit behind the law is, hey, the justice system really did this wrong. They screwed up.
Yeah, it's the check and balance for the criminal justice system.
While it does give him the power to do it.
Yeah.
100%. It does. And this is with any president that does it for anybody.
Yeah.
It does give the president this authority. I don't think that it's specifically the purpose of it was to go, all right, mass pardon everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's real.
No. Yeah, because this should be a limit, like a real report for each person.
Yeah, you
not
need
just
to have
not just a list. You just, a reason.
I want to know the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah, and he knows you can't do it for 1,500 people.
You can't. It would take
a long time
and countless number of people to dig through each one of these people's stories and each case that these people had.
Yeah.
That you can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
and he doesn't know each story. Like somebody else put this list together, said, "Here, President, sign this."
And he went, "Okay."
Probably had drool coming off his chin.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I like ice cream.
I'm looking for a specific name on here, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, close. Edward Snowden is one that
he's not going to get one.
Not from this president. No. Maybe the next one.
Mm-hmm. He didn't get it the last time.
That's true. I wonder why.
There may be information we don't know, but at the same time,
his story's changed though over the years though. Like,
yeah,
it come out that he was right.
Oh, absolutely.
So
he is correct.
If he's correct in what he did and correct about the whistleblower, why is he still?
Do you think that
being prosecuted?
Do you think that maybe
there's a James Snowden III on this list, but not Edward Snowden?
Do you think that it may be that he that there's some information that's being fed to whatever leader it is about what he did?
Oh yeah,
that may be correct or not.
Because who did he whistleblow? He whistleblowed on the FBI.
No, NSA.
Was the NSA?
Yeah.
Okay.
He whistleblew on the NSA because that's where he worked. And that was
not
during
a division of the FBI though, because that was kind of an investigation type, like
it was a data collection. Is what it is. I mean, it was just collecting. He could I went and looked a bunch of stuff up on that.
Yeah,
he could literally type somebody's name in and just have like a everybody's information right there. Yeah,
and then it come out to be true that the government illegally was doing that sort of thing.
No way. What? No way.
But it
may be a division of the FBI. I don't know. But I do know that it is the NSA is the specific agency.
But he's still having to live in a foreign country
He lives in Russia.
Yeah.
Which is where the Syrian dictator is now at too.
No way.
Yep.
The one that got overthrown?
Yep.
Interesting.
And guess who that weakens? Other people in that area.
Yeah.
It weakens Russia.
Oh.
Who is now using North Korean soldiers to fight in Ukraine.
Okay.
Which Ukraine is going to play a big part in this conversation about Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
And also Iran.
Yeah.
Who is fighting a proxy war with Israel.
Wow.
Guess who that benefits? If it's benefiting Ukraine, that benefits us.
Yeah.
If it benefits Israel, we're fighting a proxy war with Israel or for Israel.
Yeah.
So it's who does it all come back to?
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Us.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, let's tie those together. All right. So we've got the Ukraine. Where do they play in with Hunter Biden? It starts with the laptop. Okay, so even before the laptop,
that's where our information, a lot of it comes from, because his income was posted in the laptop.
Yep. And even before that, because remember, Joe was saying that he didn't know anything about his business dealings, but
he didn't.
He says he didn't. But
that's why they use code names.
Yeah, the big guy.
It wasn't him though.
It wasn't him.
He was talking about. He was talking about paying his tithe. It was 10%. The big guy giving it to Jesus.
So Hunter, with zero credibility, zero experience, he gets put on a board of directors for a energy company in Ukraine.
Yeah,
that's where the tie is.
And just as context, Ukraine is known for honesty and truth and respect of other people. And when I say all that, think of those words and the opposite. And that's exactly what I mean by what I said. So none of that is true.
Yep.
They are a hotbed of corruption.
Yep.
And what's the word? They suck.
Yeah.
If you want to get away with something, you would go through Ukraine.
They're a
to hide
puppet.
it.
They're a puppet of the deep state.
You know what?
Money
Couldn't say it
laundering.
better myself,
Is
Joey.
that it?
You're
Puppet of
on
the
it.
deep state. So Hunter's making tons of money for a job that he doesn't have to do anything.
$86,000 a month.
A month.
So
raking it in.
How he goes and buys bread, I don't even know.
Yeah. Speaking of bread, he spends that money instead of on bread feeding his family. He spends that money on drugs. And,
A little bit of Betty White.
A little Betty White, a little booger sugar. Oh, I got a list. Hang on. I
love this.
So we were afraid what YouTube was going to allow us to say talking about this episode, and we noticed some episodes of stuff we were watching, they bleeped out names of drugs.
We don't know where the line is on YouTube.
We really
yet.
don't. We're learning.
Yeah.
YouTube could probably care less. I don't know. I think they do. I think we're getting shadow banned, but that's another subject. But so we looked up words for the illicit drugs that we could probably say that YouTube wouldn't flag. And
hard drugs.
Booger sugar is my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Devil's Dandruff.
That's a good one too.
Solid. Betty White.
That's my favorite, I think.
Yep.
Just Betty White.
Yep.
A wholesome lady.
This one's solid, but it's hard to say. Colombian Party Powder.
That one's good.
That one's solid.
Old CPP.
Colombian Party Powder. Hitting the Slopes, Nose Candy, Yeti Flakes, Nose Beers, already said that. Kung Fu Powder, that's solid.
That one's good.
Fenty Frosties. Yeah, so anyway, that's what Hunter Biden's into.
So we're saying that hardcore drug users use any of these names? It's like, hey, you got any Betty White?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not saying that.
They're not saying booger sugar.
They've got their own words that we don't know that they use for this.
No. That's
oddly enough, we don't do these drugs.
We don't.
We might speak like we do because we're just saying nonsense a lot.
Yeah.
We're not, though.
No, we're not. So he's spending all his money that he's making from a job that he has zero credibility for, that Joe says he has no idea about, that he's just
I don't know about his business dealings.
Okay, so then the laptop situation comes out. So let's explain the laptop situation. He there was a computer repair shop. I can't remember what city.
It even existed
in
anymore.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Computer repair shop in Delaware. A drunk man comes in with the same signature as Hunter Biden. Comes in, drops off 3 laptops for repair. He says that it's to get information off the laptops that was lost. That was
hard drive went haywire.
Yep. So his memories of his brother Bo that just passed away from brain cancer. So
that's what I like to do when I'm drunk too, is go to computer repair shops and get memories back.
Yeah. So the computer repair guy says he feels sorry for him, charges him like $80-something bucks. Wasn't even that much.
Yeah.
Makes him sign the repair order. Clause on the repair order says if you forget about this, if you don't come and claim your stuff within 90 days of after the repair,
it's ours.
It's abandoned property.
Yeah.
It's mine now. So after the 90 days, the guy digs into the laptop, opens it up, finds a horde of illicit material. That's all the
homemade materials,
homemade
with
videos,
their own cameras,
pictures,
discussions between people that
are not his wife,
are not the person he is betrothed to.
So they find all that stuff. He finds conversations from Joe Biden and some other high-level people about the career that he has, his phony career.
Because he didn't have conversations with
him
him
did say that, didn't he?
He did.
So the laptop proves that was a lie.
Yeah. He
And
probably just misspoke, though, if I had to guess.
yeah, he didn't mean to do that.
He was like, what do you mean? Of course I talked about to my son about his job. I love my son.
Yeah.
Of course I did that.
Yeah, so
But I didn't know that it was dirty.
yeah, so Joe knows.
He's not the big guy.
Yeah, so they tried to use code names, but it was blatantly obvious who they were talking about.
Yeah,
but
the guy that's been in.
To me, so what do you think? I'm gonna ask you first. What's worse in this? His infidelities, his drug use, his just overall shady character, or the fact that he made his money the way he did?
I think it's treason. I think that's the worst part.
I think it's treasonous.
Yeah, I think the treason might be it.
To me too. Yeah, that's the part that politically got swept under the rug.
Yeah, they don't want to have that discussion.
No, because during the election, that's when they were saying that was the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian misinformation that was just thrown out there to sway people politically in the vote of the 2020 election.
Well, the FBI reached out, and this is what I think people really need to hone in on more than any of it, is the FBI reached out to social media platforms and said, hey, so this is what Zuckerberg said on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking to him about it, and he said, they reached out to us with nothing specific, at least that I can remember, that there was going to be things that came out that are going to be Russian disinformation, and it needed to be suppressed.
Yeah.
So he said that the laptop was not necessarily part of what they said. It just fit the description of what they were supposed to be looking for.
Right.
So the problem with that is they knew that the laptop information was going to come out.
Yeah.
Because Trump's lawyers reached out and was like, hey, I need to get this information that's on this laptop if you obtained it legally.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you whatever amount of money you want.
And they did.
And they did.
Yep.
But it was suppressed as
FBI
Russian
held it back.
disinformation. So if you look, I mean, all the way back to 2016, they've been trying to tie Trump with Russia this entire time. So then they have an excuse to then go, Russian disinformation. They're just giving this information about Hunter Biden as Trump making stuff up.
So mainstream media sweeps it under the rug. They don't talk about it. If they do mention it, it's to put out the narrative that it was not real.
Yeah.
And come to find out, it was all real.
And what's weird about it is you didn't find out that it was real until like the day after Joe Biden was elected president.
Yep. And tied to last week's episode, who did you say went out to Facebook and said, don't look for this?
The FBI.
The FBI.
And so that would then say that they would be deep state?
Deep state. 100%. 100%.
So as you can see, there is a narrative that is just developing through all of our episodes of just hiding information, suppressing information. They'll let you know later that it was real when you don't care anymore and it doesn't matter.
Yep. And the manipulation of the masses is the worst part of all of it.
Absolutely.
Because there's not people doing what we're doing. Not saying we're on the forefront of cutting edge technology. We're just finding this stuff. Yeah, we're finding this stuff as we're digging into this stuff for the show.
This takes work to find.
Yeah.
This is not, especially right now with the Hunter Biden stuff. If you're going to look up Hunter Biden, all you're going to find is stuff about pardons. That's it. You're not going to be able to find a whole lot
He's
about
being pardoned. Everybody understands. That's his dad. Blah, blah, blah. Sob story. We love it.
If you look up news articles, you have to be very specific with your keywords and know what you're looking for. So you almost have to have a little bit of information of the bad things he's done.
Yeah.
To find other bad things that he's done.
And even the research that I've done for this show, you have to take clips of all of the story to put it together. Nothing had all of it funneled together. Says here's Joe's story.
I want to make it clear, we're not piecing this together in a way of trying to connect dots that don't exist.
No.
We have to piece it together because it's not a solid form of information that you're just going to find on any of these topics that we've had. You're having to pull from here, pull from this. This source said this source said that. Okay, that makes sense here. That you're just having to literally, we need a cork board of just red string and pins and like a picture of Hunter Biden and a picture of the FBI and Mark Zuckerberg and JFK and
Secret Service was in there
the
too.
Nephilim and Enoch somewhere in the middle of it. I mean, it's
Let's take a quick break. Let's talk about the evolution of this show and how we ended up in a room with studio lighting.
It's really cool.
Nice equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Soundproofing the room a little bit, make our audio a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting. We've had a lot of help getting to where we are.
We've had a
in a very
whole
short
lot
amount
of
of
help.
time.
Very short amount of time. I think this is episode 27 or 28. I can't remember because we've had so many.
Yeah.
But I went back yesterday. I was listening to the JFK Part 2 episode, and on Spotify it automatically rolls over to the oldest episode. Then, so it went from 27 or whatever it was all the way to number 1. And I just listened to a little bit of what that first episode sounded like. And it feels like it was a long time ago in a weird way that we did that. But
it really wasn't.
It just the progression that's happened in such a short amount of time is really cool. I was telling Joey a minute ago, it's just really cool to be able to walk into this room once a week and just have what level of production we do have. It's just a really cool thing.
Yeah. And what it's done for us, like we went from, man, I grew up as a shy kid.
Yeah.
Like
I did too.
I mean, I was an automotive mechanic starting out my career. I didn't like talking to people. Most people in that kind of career.
That's why people become mechanics.
Yeah. You just kind of want to just put your head under a hood and get to work. And I enjoyed doing that. That was my thing. And then my career progressed to where I'm at now. And then this studio kind of popped up like, hey, we got access to this stuff. We enjoy talking to each other. Let's just get in a room and do it and put it out to the world and see if the rest of the world likes it. The jury's still out on that, by the way.
Yeah,
but,
it is. It is still out.
Judging by our numbers, but from what I'm researching, what I've been looking, I look for self-validation all the time.
Absolutely.
Every podcast goes through this.
It does.
Like even the big ones, they didn't start out. Unless you got a famous name like the Hawk Tua girl, you don't just throw out a podcast.
She's not doing too well right now. Have you not seen her meme coin that she made? Bitcoin?
Yeah, she got in trouble.
She may end up in prison.
She got in trouble.
Yeah.
But, so it's just weird how we got from being a few shy guys to being able to do this. And I did some announcing yesterday at a basketball game for a local sports team, and I wasn't even nervous about it. Like it was just second nature, and it was because of this.
More than anything,
I think is super cool.
I think what we're saying is we appreciate what following we do have and the people that are interacting with us, and it's really cool.
Yeah, not a day goes by where somebody doesn't say, hey, here's your podcast episode. Yeah. Have you looked into this? Here's some information on what you did already talk about. It's really
fun. It's fun for us, even if it is a small following. We enjoy it, and we're glad that people are watching it and enjoying it as well.
Yeah, we said from the beginning, like we would continue to do this for free. Like it's a therapy session for us. It gives us something to do in our off time other than doom scrolling through Facebook. And,
exactly.
We get to research things and put get our own thoughts together, original thoughts, and it's fun. And we appreciate everybody listening and coming along for the ride.
We're probably going to be crazy by the end of it, and I'm okay with that.
My wife worries about that for real.
I think mine does too. I don't think she says too much about it.
I don't even think. I just know. She's flat out told me she's worried about me.
Yeah, it's great. I like that part of it though. I was like, you should worry. Yeah. You should be worried about it.
But I really don't though.
I don't either.
It's more of a liberation for me.
Yeah.
It's not an anxiety. It's being able to see things that I didn't see before because of the research we're doing, the lines we're connecting, the stuff we're seeing. So when I do see stuff on the news, or I do see a political narrative in a movie, I'm like, boop, there it is.
Well, that's the thing is you're going just a little bit below skin deep with these topics.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's had, because of what mainstream media is, because of all of just media in general, social media, everything is very surface level amounts of information.
Yep.
And once you dig just a little bit below that surface, you go, wait.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. And that's what's fun to me is you go, well, that means this is connected to that.
Yep.
And you can just really start to see that web being woven.
Yeah. And it's I think the verse is on our website. You don't live in the darkness. You should live to expose it.
Yeah.
So
Ephesians 5:11, is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
So you can't hide from it. You can't stick your head in the sand and just like, I don't see nothing. Blah, 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 got your eyes covered, like, because it's there.
And we want to help you with just what little information we have dug up.
Yep.
We want to help you with that.
Yep.
Make it a little easier for you.
Yep.
Here it is. Y'all go find the rest of it.
Yep.
And get back to us.
Yeah. Here's what we found. This is our thoughts on what we found.
And let me tell you where you can get back to us. This is where it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
Yep.
Facebook.
Yep.
Spotify.
And unfortunately, you got to dig.
Apple. Yes, and you have to dig at least on YouTube.
It's a quick search, though. Shrouded Realities. We are fortunate enough to have an extremely original name.
But if you want to stay up to date on our latest stuff, you got to subscribe. I'm looking into the camera again, and this is something I'm going to do every week.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, and I'm pointing at you.
When I'm editing, I'm going to zoom in on you right now.
You better, right now.
Yep.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing right here? Go subscribe, because you're not going to find this information just by typing in our name. It's not going to work. Mm-mm. You have to, I think the latest episode that you will find on YouTube, if you just type in our name, is the Younger Dries. And that's like 15 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And it really doesn't even tie in with a whole lot of what
it doesn't. It has nothing to do with
an ancient history thing that we thought was fun.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're on almost a series of just deep state right now. Yeah. And if you miss one episode of it, you're going to miss a massive chunk of what the deep state's doing.
Yeah.
But go check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment, like, share, do all the things.
All the things.
We have another place you can reach out to us. We have shroudedrealities.com.
Yep.
We've got really cool things on there.
Yep.
First of all, it's just a pretty sweet website.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a picture of Bigfoot on it.
I need it. We're gonna have our new. Here it is.
It's coming.
We've got a new. We got some new artwork.
By the time this episode releases, it's already gonna be out in the open. So
some new artwork featuring all the guys and Ruby the podcast dog.
That's right. And I've got to give a special shout out to my buddy who made all of our logos, does all of our artistic work.
Extremely
he does
talented.
Fantastic stuff.
Extremely talented.
Matt. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to meet Matt. I've never met Matt.
You've got to meet Matt. I would like. We need to bring Matt in one day and just have a conversation.
You think he'd want to come on the show?
He would do it. Absolutely.
That'd be solid.
And he is a devil's advocate if there ever was one. So he'll play the Connor game all day.
I like the conflicting not narratives, but just the conflicting thoughts.
Yeah, well, it just makes you think a little bit.
It does.
Puts you in your own little what do I believe here? Yeah.
Yep.
So but we've got merch, we've got T-shirts, we've got stickers.
Stickers? What?
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna harp on it again?
It's hard for me not to because it's
great.
I mean, if you were to tell people what a sticker was in your best sales pitch, what would you say?
I would say if your back of your laptop is really boring and bland and doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on it, and maybe you need to cover up a logo for advertising reasons.
I didn't do that, but yeah.
Is yours exposed?
Yeah, I've got it on there.
You got to get it. Do you have a sticker on your laptop?
No.
Come on.
I'm a stickerless boy. I don't because
I like the sticker game.
That's going to blow people away.
It expresses your personality. You got, but anyway, you put your logo right there, right in the middle of your laptop.
Right. People are actually probably going to be upset with me. I'm the sticker guy.
And you're being a sticker hypocrite.
Let me tell you what this is.
Are you a sticker hypocrite?
The back of this is as naked as Joe Biden was, or as Hunter
in
Biden
was
in his pictures that he left on his laptop.
Solid segue, by the way.
Just showing the apple. That's all he's doing.
Is that what you call it?
Yep, just showing the apple off.
Solid segue. Solid segue.
He's the apple of Joe Biden's eye.
So we don't waste all our time talking about stickers.
That's right.
Let's get into the fun meat of the Hunter Biden.
Oh my gosh, you can't say the fun meat.
The fun meat of Hunter Biden and what those found on his laptop. I keep doing this. I keep throwing softballs up for my mom to be really disappointed in this show, and I just keep doing it. I do it every week.
Just getting into the sweet meats of the Bidens.
So he recorded himself doing a lot of stuff with people that's not his wife for some reason, and then kept it on his laptop for some reason.
Have you ever noticed that people that are addicted to drugs do really dumb things?
Sure. That is true.
Like, if I was a drug addict.
Yep.
And I was going to travel, and this is just an example. I don't have this specifically for Hunter Biden, but if I was going to travel with drugs in my car, I would probably do a series of checks on my car every time I left the house.
I'd be a little paranoid.
I would make sure that my blinkers worked, all of my brake lights worked, didn't have any like cracks in my windshield.
Maybe even hide the stuff that you're not supposed to have.
Exactly. I would do all these things to make sure that I didn't get caught.
Because you'd
you'd
be a smart crackhead.
Yeah, which doesn't seem to exist.
A good, responsible crackhead.
Crackhead.
Yeah.
Could be a crackhead.
Could be a crackhead.
Anyway, what I wouldn't do is record myself, especially as a prominent person.
Yeah, the son of the VP at the time.
I probably wouldn't record myself on my computer.
No.
That everyone in the world at any kind of prominence would try to be getting their grubby little fingers on.
Yep.
Smoking crack.
Much less take it to someone and say, here.
No. You know what you could do? Get a separate hard drive and plug it up that has all of the memories of your brother.
Yeah.
And hide it in that.
Was there any memories of his brother on any of it?
No.
It was
just all of his wiener. It's all it was. The whole thing was his wiener and crack.
Jeez.
And his income from this really nice place called Burisma.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That was the ties to old daddy.
Yeah.
Making his money.
Why would you do it?
Bad decisions.
Not only is that in there, let's back up and talk about Hunter Biden's brother.
Yep.
He was out of the Bidens. I don't know. I mean, all we're going to get is good information about him because he did pass away.
Yeah.
Posthumously,
he's going to be the best person.
He's going to be the good guy. We don't know if he had any other dealings.
He didn't have a laptop.
He didn't have a laptop. And if there was a laptop, it was destroyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He was in the military. His brother was. Developed brain cancer at like 46. And passed away.
Yep.
And that actually is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that has to go through that, it is awful. What was weird is Hunter Biden trying to, I guess, console his brother's wife.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets super weird.
Who is currently still married, Hunter Biden is.
Yep. And at the time, his own real wife was kicking him out.
Yeah.
Because of his drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
To protect her kids.
Develops a relationship with his brother's wife.
Moves in with her.
Does say that it is pretty hard on the kids, which how could that not be?
Yep.
Develops a relationship in a romantic way, we will say.
While he's still married. He was kicked out of his wife was trying to divorce him, but he was still married at the time that he was having relations with his sister-in-law.
Yeah, which is, I don't even know how
Gross.
to describe that. It's just disgusting. Like, oh, never mind. I'm not even going to say it. It's just gross.
It is. And then while that's going on, as if that's not dirty enough, he is texting, soliciting a relationship with his sister-in-law's sister.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Gross?
Yeah.
Again?
Double gross. Double icky. It's got the double ick on
Double ick.
While, I don't know if you remember this. It was a big news when it happened. I don't remember the year.
Ashley Madison.
He was also tied to Ashley Madison. Yep. So his
wife read his name on the list that was released.
Which would be awful.
Yeah.
I don't think she was surprised. I don't think that this lady could be surprised by anything.
No, this was just the proof that was put out into the world.
Yeah. I mean, this lady was probably like, oh, okay. So that too?
Yeah. So
now, just mark that on the list.
Yeah,
I mean, what?
Now I really do have to divorce you.
If that wasn't reason enough, she said she didn't divorce him because she liked the things. Which is, I don't want to paint her as a bad person.
Yeah.
Because if you're living in that world and that's how you've developed your life.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
And she is living in a couple of multi-million-dollar houses.
Sure. I mean, it would be, and once you develop that, okay, it would be hard to go back.
Yeah, she
I
wanted to
get it.
sustain it for sure.
But the good thing for her is when she did get a divorce, she only got a mere $37,000 a month to live on, which would be tough. I don't know how she bought groceries, but
when did the stripper baby come into all this?
It was somewhere in there mingled with all of this.
Somewhere between the crack smoke and the overseas money laundering and the illicit drug use and gun purchases, he decided to have some fun with a stripper lady and accidentally had a baby.
Yep.
And
which that's pretty how he treated that woman and his child is disgusting.
Not only him.
Yes.
Papa Joe did too.
Papa Joe did as well.
He will still not.
He doesn't claim that child at all.
No, he's got a grandson, and he's not even
3 months. Was it before or after? I can't remember. If it was before or after the child was born, he cut off their health insurance to make sure that he had zero connection to it. I don't remember if it was before or after. Regardless, does it matter?
Yeah.
This is your kid.
Yeah.
And nope, Joe Biden doesn't acknowledge it. He talks about his grandchildren a lot. Does not talk about this grandchild even a little bit.
And none of this is speculation. This is stuff that's out there.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah, the laptop repair guy sold all the information and all the pictures and all the videos to a New York Post, I believe it was, that released all of it.
Well,
so it's everywhere. Everybody can see it, which is
Hunter Biden was releasing a lot of this stuff on certain, we'll call them corn sites.
Yeah. Good job.
Cornography.
Yeah.
It's where you get corn and you make pictures out of it. Yes.
How embarrassing is that?
For who?
For him and his family.
Does he
how do you not just slither into a hole and die somewhere?
Does he have that feeling at all?
I see what you're saying.
Does that exist inside of him? Because how do you keep
shame
would work for me.
Yeah, we're looking at this through rational lenses.
I've never had those types of drugs in my body.
Yeah.
I don't know what that makes you do for the rest of your life. But I will say, if one of these things happened to me, I would just disappear. I'd go live in a cabin in the woods and nobody would know I existed anymore.
I couldn't show my face in public ever again.
And he's posting them himself.
Yeah. And then somehow, even through all this, he pulls a hottie. Somehow, let
me tell you how you did that. Money,
that power, that those connections. He meets a chick named Melissa Bhatia Cohen from South Africa, and
she's a film director, isn't she?
Yep. And within a week, a documentary filmmaker, and within a week, they're married.
Well, I mean, love is love, man.
As soon
as you know, you know.
In that week, they said he met this chick, got clean, and they married within a week.
And what's even crazier about that is he got clean in a week.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
She ain't messing with no broke ones. But we haven't even discussed.
And they're still married now.
He got clean in a week, right?
Yep.
So this lady single-handedly did more for Hunter Biden in 1 week than 70 different stints in rehab did.
Yeah. He admitted to 70 different stints in rehab.
Yeah.
How do you have that much time in your life?
Oh, I forgot about this. He was on a crack binge in L.A.
Yeah.
And he decided, I think he was there for a week. He went into the homeless encampments and all that and was buying drugs the whole time.
Fun. Can you imagine being a crackhead under the bridge?
And Hunter Biden pops out.
Joe,
hey,
the vice president and president's son walks up to you.
Hey, you got any more of that crack?
Got any more of that booger sugar?
Yeah. Got any Betty White down there? Anyway, so he comes off of his bender and he decides he's still on his bender. Let me back up. He's still there.
Yeah.
So he decides to get in his car and drive 7 hours to Arizona in a rental car, smoking crack the whole way, just tearing
this story,
just choking them down.
Yep.
Well, he wrecks the car.
Yep.
Go figure. I mean, 7 hours of driving while on crack, you're bound to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls Hertz rental car. Hey, I wrecked this car. A barn owl flew in front of me. A massive barn owl, and I dodged it.
Any ties to Bohemian Grove there?
Maybe.
Did that cross your mind when you heard that?
It didn't.
It did me. I was like,
what crossed my mind is that is something a crackhead would say.
Yeah, interesting choice of animals, I thought. I was just like, any animal he could have said, and he said the owl.
No, the first thing I thought was, it sounds like something a crackhead would say.
Yeah.
They gave him another car.
Yep.
And he continued on
it's
his
in their
way.
policy. It's just an accident. Here you go.
Barn owls just pop out of nowhere all the time.
It happens.
It happens. Could you imagine being the guy that got that phone call?
Yeah.
Like, this dude says a friggin' barn owl.
Hey, I've got Hunter on the phone here.
He said a barn owl. Come on.
Like, we gotta get him
that sounds like one of those things that when you are messed up, it sounds like a good excuse. It sounds like, oh, well, yeah, it was a barn.
Why are you not believing me?
To the people that are sober around you are like, come on,
dude.
Anyway, goes to this rehab.
Yep.
They tell him, well, you got to take a drug test.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, never mind. And dips out and leaves.
Yeah.
Because they're like, he said that he would end up, it would be released to the press.
Yeah.
You went there knowing you're going to have to take a drug test.
Great decisions.
He's a solid guy, just all the way around.
So let's wrap this up. Running out of time. Deep State is all up in it.
So basically what it means is if you're rich, powerful, and able to be puppeted, you can get away with whatever you want.
You don't even have to be rich. You just have to be powerful. And then the richness comes.
Yeah, it does.
It does. And then you can do whatever you want to whoever you want, however you want to do it. You can get away with it.
Justice is blind, man.
And the media will cover it up for you.
Justice sees no color, creed.
You believe that?
No.
Me neither. Me neither.
It's a good thought.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a fun episode next week. We got to.
I think this was a pretty fun episode.
This was fine.
Yeah.
We got to say booger sugar multiple times.
Betty White. Anytime you can bring Betty White into the conversation, I'm into it.
If you made it this long, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on next week's episode, and check out all our stuff on social media. And hook you boys up for Steve and Joey, Ruby the podcast dog. Thanks.